Kris, talk about your relationship with Cheese a little bit. I know both of you guys kind of came from VMI. Just talk about Cheese a little bit.
Yeah, so Cheese came to VMI the year after I left, so I didn't really get to, have a relationship with him at VMI. But he's from Stafford in Colonial Forge High School, so we didn't play against him, but I scouted him because we played against teams that he played, and he's always been a great athlete and a great football player.
And then something I'm just kind of interested in is you go like in motion, whether it's jet, orbit, like so often. Like, do you feel like you get tired before the snap ever? Like, how you're running so much before the ball's even snapped.
No, I wouldn't say I get tired. I mean, I guess it's good to do that. It kind of changes up different looks. We can start me on one side of the field and on the other side of the field. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I get tired. Sometimes, I'm like, damn, I got to motion again. But, I mean, it is what it is. It throws the defense off, so I'll do it anytime I have to.
I know you and Todd have developed a really, really strong connection throughout this past 5 games preseason as well. Having worked with a lot of mature quarterbacks before, what about your relationship with Todd is so much different than some of the other quarterbacks like Cole that you've played with?
Yeah, I feel like with Todd, I just relate to him a lot. He's been through a lot in his life. He's been at different schools, and I feel like I've kind of been in the same boat. So I feel like I relate to Todd a lot. So I mean, I think that kind of contributes to our chemistry on the field.
How have you seen him grow within this offense, through each week that he's picking it up more, but how have you kind of seen him move through the offense?
I think he's just super comfortable now. He just knows he's in command of the offense. He knows where everybody's supposed to be. He's just settled into the offense, really. He's super comfortable.
Was there a moment where you kind of saw him, get more comfortable maybe than at the beginning of the year?
I really say after we came out of halftime against Middle Tennessee, after the first game, we made a couple of adjustments, and he kind of just settled in, started making all the throws, making all the right reads. I would say it was first game Middle Tennessee.
And then for you, how do you gain confidence back after have a game like App where it's one catch for -1 yards and come back and have a game like you did this past weekend?
Against App State, they kind of did things to take me away. So I just, keep fighting, keep battling. I knew that's not me. So I know that I'm going to come back and have a better game the next game and, just got to keep playing football. It's going to come to me. I just got to do what I have to do on the field.
Signetti said for you guys, not a lot really changes between home and away games in terms of preparation as a unit. But what about you? How do you prepare to be in a different environment where it's a lot louder and you're in a place that's not Bridgeforth Stadium, and particularly in a situation where you've got back-to-back away games like this week?
Mm-hmm. I look at away games as, kind of exciting. You're in a different environment. You get to have when you score, the crowd's quiet. When you make big plays, the crowd's quiet. I like silence in the crowd. So I look at away games as a challenge and kind of exciting to me.
On Sunday, what was kind of your thought process or the feelings you felt when you saw that top 25 appearance?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, you're excited. Your first year as an FBS school and you're already ranked in the AP top 25, but that's not our goal, So, we want to be number one for real. So, it's exciting to be top 25, but that's not the goal of the season.
And then I guess my question going off that is, you hear a lot of times players having to block out that negative media, but in a case like this where it's positive, how important is it to kind of block that out and remain focused on the goal at hand?
Like I say, you got to really keep the main thing, and that's not our goal. Our goal wasn't to be a top 25 team at the end of the year, so we got to keep doing and keep pushing towards our goal.
You got a couple carries the last couple of games, and then there at Arkansas State, you had that one long reception, and it looked like they were going to hand it to you, and it's like they almost relaxed when they didn't hand it to you. Did those kind of things, how much does that help make teams not just double cover you the whole time?
Yeah,
mix it up like that.
Changing up the looks, giving different looks to the defense, having me motion across the formation and catch the ball out the backfield. Just giving the defense different looks. They can't really double cover somebody if they're going in motion and moving around. So I think Coach Shanahan does a great job of that, moving around the playmakers, so we can't really be keyed on during the game.
What's the scouting report look like on Georgia Southern's defense for this weekend?
They play a lot of cover 4 in the back end. They fly around to the ball. They're a good team, so we got to be prepared going into especially going into their stadium, going into Georgia Southern. So we definitely got to be prepared.
You've been one of the players that a lot of opponents have, as I've jokingly said, multiple red circles around your name when they're looking at your scouting report. And you've talked about other players kind of stepping in to be able to create looks and almost using yourself as a diversion to create those opportunities. Have you seen that really start to come into effect as you've gotten into Sunbelt play?
Yeah, like against App State, they did a lot to try to take me away, but other players made plays. Terrence, Rav, Reggie, they all stepped up and made plays, and I think anybody in our receiver room can go make plays. So you can't really key on anybody in our receiver room, and you can see that from the App State game. So I mean, I think going into Sunbelt play, we just got to keep playing how we've been playing and keep making plays.
We asked this of the players last week, and we'll ask you too. What are some of your go-to things to do on that plane ride?
This last plane ride, I just went to sleep. I mean, that's usually what I do. I just try to go to sleep. I don't really do much else.
I saw on Twitter, Todd kind of quote tweeted a couple things, calling you the GOAT and then Percy the franchise. Are those like nicknames you guys have within the locker room, or?
Yeah, we just be joking around. I always call Percy the franchise. You know, he been here for 85 years, so I just call Percy the franchise. You know, he is Mr. JMU, so that's what we just be joking around in the locker room.
Within this offense, how does a tight end help a slot receiver? How does a slot receiver help a tight end?
It's a lot. That's a loaded question because, you know, for the tight end, they do a lot. They're really utility players on the offense, so they can go catch passes as you saw this past weekend, block as you saw this past weekend. They really can do it all. And for me, I just got to, you know, try to read their blocks when they blocking for me. If I'm running off for them to catch a pass, I got to make sure I do that full speed. So just things like that.